Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Meaningful Marketer podcast. I'm Mia, and this is Grace, and every week we have cozy marketing chats all about how we can bring marketing back to what it should be all about, the best form of marketing, and that is how we can connect better with other people and with ourselves genuinely, and how we can make marketing more meaningful again and not just the sleazy sales thing that we, dread seeing and doing all the time. And how we can make it more bite-sized. So that way we'll actually show up and do it. And we're not trying to do a million things at once where nothing ends up working.
Right.
So today we're talking about one that we get a lot of questions about from people we coach and our clients and a lot of you on social media. And that is, should I be running sales? And a lot of the time as you're getting started as a business or, maybe just been in it a short time, this is something that I think people really struggle with on should I run sales? If I should run sales, what type of sales should I run? And with it being the holiday season, we thought this would be a really great time to talk through that. But this is really any time. This just isn't just about sales for the holiday season. This is about sales for any time of year because throughout the year, there's all kinds of days or reasons you could run a sale, but that doesn't always mean you should. And so we're going to walk you through today how to determine when you should be running sales, what types of sales you should be running, and how you can actually decide what's best for you and your business and not just follow along on the road that everyone else is going on to do a sale just to do a sale. Just because it's Black Friday, I'll do a sale. You want to have purpose and meaning, or eventually your sales are going to fall flat. Your community isn't going to trust you anymore. You just might lose the joy of doing what you're doing as well because you've compromised your values. So first off, I want to say that I am actually a marketer that I feel like hates sales. I think a lot of marketers get excited about sales, or they're like, oh, this is a chance to do something new or fresh, or this is like a chance to boost my numbers, or, whatever it is. And I think a lot of people get excited about them in the marketing world. I don't really like sales. I feel like there's been a lot of times I've been involved in companies running sales that are very, would you say disingenuous? Is that the word? Disingenuous, felt very flat, meaningless. There's times when we've run sales at companies I've been at in the past, with clients we've worked with, that it's felt really good running them. It's felt like a good decision. And there's been times in my life where I've worked for companies where it has not felt like a good decision. It's felt really forced and like there's so much pressure, and it took a lot of the meaning and enjoyment out of curating something for your community as well. Because first off, I feel like when you're doing a sale, I'm not saying it's always going to feel like rainbows and butterflies, but, I do think there should be some form of enjoyment there that you're curating something for your community, you should feel a little bit of ooh, they're going to love when they find this out,
Yes.
or something like that, or they're going to really enjoy this. I feel like there should be some of that in when you're doing your sales, and so often I feel like we're instead coming into it going, oh, I've got to think of a sale because it's that day of the year, that day of the month that everyone does a sale. And you just end up, dreading it, hating the whole process, or you end up trying to do something way too complicated and it falls flat, and then you don't even get a reward for your efforts.
Well, there's something to be said for scheduling. There's something to be said for scheduling a thoughtful sale, right? Think about what your people would be most excited to shop. I think sales have become this last resort. I have to move this inventory, not enough people are buying it. I have to put it on crazy sale and work really hard to convince everybody that it's the greatest thing I've ever made. Obviously, you don't want to be okay, yeah, I can't sell these, please buy them. But at the same time, I think being a bit more transparent is going to serve you better in the long run. People can feel when it's forced and when it's fake. I've worked for companies before where it's we're trying really hard to make you believe that this is the best thing you'll ever buy when everyone knows that it's not. Didn't really come out the way it was supposed to. And I think you have to give your audience more credit, and you have to not pander to them, because then you're just going to tick them off altogether.
The ultimate thing is being honest, I think, and if you're not going to come out and go, no one wants these, then don't come out though and also say everyone's wanting these.
Right.
So we're putting them on sale. Just go, hey, these are on sale. Just be honest. You don't have to oversell it. You don't have to get real mushy gushy with everything. It's not that deep. It can be simple. And so hopefully what we give you today is going to help you keep it in that simple, honest realm. So first, in talking about sales, I just want to state the elephant in the room is that sales do work. And yes, if you run more sales, you are probably going to make more money. Period. Like, it may be for a short time that you're making more money if you burn your people out on sales, but you are going to make a short little bit of money. And I wrote myself a note here that it's very much like a sugar rush, like a little bit like a sugar rush. You get this really quick spike of this really great feeling of sales, of all of this. But then too much of it is really, really bad for your business. Like, if your business is just operating on doing sales all the time, that probably isn't a great business strategy. That's probably not a great structure for your business if that's what you're relying on. Because then, very much like when you're having sugar, you're just relying on these constant sugar spikes, but they're not going to keep you level and keep that energy consistent to fuel you properly to continue. And it's the same, I feel like, with the business, is like, if you're just relying on these quick little spikes of sugar, these little sales that are spiking your income here and there, one, you're going to get really panicky and everything when you're not getting those spikes of income, but you can fatigue your people. You're just not giving your business a solid structure that it can run on in any season. It's always going to be reliant on these sales. And another thing too, if you're relying on sales all the time, the chances are your prices are probably marked a bit higher to allow for those sales.
Right.
People are smart to that. These
know.
days, like, they know if you're running 40% off sales all the time, that they're probably paying overpriced the rest of the time. Now, obviously, with margins and everything, you have to do what's best for your business, within ethical guidelines, of course. We hope that you're doing that. But, in our experience, I feel it's a much better route to have your sales less often and price your things fairly, and then come up with a solid marketing strategy that is evergreen, that doesn't rely on just doing sales all the time. And so how do you be intentional about doing that? Well, what we talk to a lot of our clients about when they come to us and we're planning their holiday season and stuff like that is, does it align with your values? Are you running the sale just because you think you should run the sale? Is this a holiday that even means anything to you? Or are you just doing it because everyone else is doing it? Now, there is something to say, obviously, if you were someone who is trying to target an audience, a community that does celebrate something. But again, I think, you can still be genuine about that. I think you can be genuine in wanting to celebrate with them and being very intentional about that sale. However, the first thing we always say is, like, check your values. Is this something you celebrate? Is it something that means anything to you? And if it doesn't, then I would say the next line to go down there is, does it mean anything to your community, to your audience? Do they celebrate it? And then from there, make the best judgment on whether you actually think you should observe this or not.
Right. Yeah. I have a client right now who doesn't like the idea of Black Friday sales. Like, it's overwhelming to her. She's like, the world is inundated with that, but she'll lean into a small business Saturday sale. So, again, figure out what feels good and what doesn't feel good to you. You don't have to do a Black Friday sale just because everybody else is. You can march to the beat of your own drum and still get in on some of the sales season if that's something that you want to do, but don't feel forced into it.
Yeah. And I would say for a lot of people, November is the biggest month of sales because it is Black Friday month. Black Friday's not what it used to be, y'all. It's just not. I don't know if anyone else did this. I used to go out, spend all night.
Right.
We would go get TVs on Black Friday. It was packed. It's not the same anymore. And I don't even get excited about Black Friday sales anymore. And I am a big shopper. I love to shop, but I don't even get excited about it anymore because it's just so much. And I'm just like, if I need something, I'll just go get it. Sure, if it's around Black Friday, I might wait around to see if they have a deal on it.
Sure.
But I'm not going to just go stalk these companies for Black Friday sales. And if you do, that's fine. But for me personally, I don't. And I think a lot of people are moving that way. So the point is, one, Black Friday is not what it used to be. Cyber Monday is not what it used to be. We see quite a few people leaning more into that small business Saturday thing, all of that kind of stuff. And when we worked together in our past life, we had a huge sale that we did in December, a couple huge sales. They weren't anything that really went with tradition of how people did things though. They were kind of we marched to our own drum and this is what worked best for our business. And so we had two pretty significant sales in December. December was always our biggest month of sales. And I don't think it's a coincidence that it was with the sales that we kind of did our own thing, marched to our own drum. we at one point in the company, everyone got 2 weeks off shipping and everything. And during that time, we had a big discount for everyone. And I don't think it's a coincidence that that was our biggest time of sales when we were doing what aligned with our values and when we were doing things against the grain. People were getting time off that normally at a typical job wouldn't have gotten time off. And so I just want to give an example out there that when you do what works for your business and you move to the beat of your own drum, and yes, you need to be aware of what's going on in the world. Obviously, yes, people buying Christmas presents and all of those things go into that. When you are doing those things in alignment with your values, it can make a big difference. So when you do run sales, holiday or not, like what kind of sales should you be running is the next thing. And one, think about things that you can do, throughout the year, holiday season aside. You don't need to be running a sale 24/7. We've already established that. But when is a good time to do it? And, you could do it every couple months, once a month. It could be something special for a email list, a text list that you have, a special group you have. Maybe you have a Substack or a Facebook group or, some kind of way that you connect deeper with your community. Maybe you have a broadcast channel on Instagram or something like that. And those are really great ways to engage people and reward people for being a closer part in your business without just inundating people with constant sale, 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 And so I think, one, look at the programs that you have. And if you don't have a program yet, maybe that's the draw to doing a program. Maybe it's that program you're doing, a text program, an email program, whatever. That's how you do your sales. They're very intentional sales and you do them once a month or once a quarter or something like that. And make it something that people are excited about where they can plan on it. And they're like, oh my gosh, I know every month this happens, or every couple months they do this really amazing sale. This happens. I would say no more than once a month. I think more than once a
Agreed.
month is probably a lot, unless you just have like some kind of special event happening during the holiday season, And when you do go to run them, we just want to say from experience, okay? We have done sales where we have run bundles, where we have done, buy this, get this off, buy this, get that off. I can't even go over the amount of sales that we have tried and tested over the years. I'm really thankful we've had the opportunity to do that because it taught me a lot. And you know what it ended up teaching me? The simple sales are the best. The ones that always made the most money, the ones that people were always most excited about, it was a simple 20% off coupon, 25, 30% off coupon, maybe 15% off. It was a simple additional sale on top of the sale that they're already doing.
These are sales that you don't have to install extra apps on Shopify for or do special coding for, because trust me, we went down that road. We tried just about every way that you can run a sale. And yeah, Mia's right. Time and time again, people just want it simple. They don't want you to push them towards certain products, really. Again, like if you're trying to buy this and get this 50% off, but the thing, but they're not going to want that thing, then, you're wasting your time. Save yourself the time.
I so agree. And, sometimes I'm not opposed. I'm a businesswoman. I'm a marketer. I'm not opposed to you get something that maybe doesn't hit very well and trying to get creative with how you make your money back from that. But sometimes also we're living and we're learning and we're all figuring it out as we go. No matter how long you've been in business, when you try new things, there's always going to be a risk. And sometimes those risks are going to come with, you're going to have a product that's a dud and you might not make money off of it, or you might not make much money off of it. And you have to take that investment you put into it as this was a learning investment rather than a monetary return, and make it better next time or do something different next time. Listen to your people. Yeah. I think that's where a lot of people sometimes get caught up in the sale thing, is they're trying, like you said, Grace, to get rid of things that didn't sell well. While I think it's great to get creative with that, maybe think about more so how you could get creative with the marketing of it and how you're presenting it. Maybe some of your community members who did buy it, you could get some UGC, some content from them, get creative with how you're promoting it rather than just, here's this. I've literally seen brands have items that nobody wanted and they just constantly were like,
exactly. And you can always tell, again, think of it, take off your business owner hat and think of it from the consumer perspective. You can always tell when somebody's desperately trying to get you to buy one thing, and you will be less likely to buy it if you can feel that pressure.
Yeah.
I feel so put it in the sale. I'm not saying don't put it in the sale, but try not to take away the choice from your customers, because that's ultimately what everybody wants, is just to be able to choose.
And that's when talking about, a simple sale, discount code, simple discount code, let them choose the thing, or if it's a sale on sale, that's great. You get the amount of choice within the collection or something, those are honestly, I would say between 20 and 40% off, and, maybe 15. I think anything lower than 15, you start to feel like it's not a sale. You feel like it's a real sale when it's like 20% plus. And then other than that, what we've seen do really well is a sale on sale. So giving, like, you've already got a markdown in a sale collection, say you've already marked the things down 15%, and then you give an additional 15%. So they're getting a total of 30% off what the normal price would be. That is great. And also, I just feel like, and, test it out for your business. For me as a shopper, and from what I've experienced, I also feel like there is something that people really like about putting that code in. Sometimes we try to make it so easy where it's like, well, this is already the price that you're getting off. And for me as a customer, I really like the experience of, ooh, I wonder what the total's going to be when I get to the cart, and like how much less it's going to be. And I feel like people enjoy that a bit more rather than always making it so, oh, this is exactly what it's going to be. And there's not that dopamine hit when you get to your cart and you put
of the
code
extra.
in.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
like,
you're like, ooh.
It's like swiping through a sale rack at a store, but it's like, it's the sale rack, but it's priced as marked. That's not as fun as, hey, it's an additional 20% off everything in the sale section. Then I'm like, oh my gosh, so it's even cheaper than what it says. Like, there is something psychological.
I want to see what I'm saving, and it gives you that dopamine hit when you're putting the code in. And some people may disagree with that and might not have success with that, or they might be like, well, I don't like shopping that way. But for me personally, and from what I've seen with other people, I feel like that little dopamine hit and that seeing what it would have been and then the money come off, there's something just
there
about
is something.
that. But that is if you should be doing holiday sales, how you should be doing them. And I hope that this was helpful and made you realize it can be a lot simpler than it is. And you shouldn't have to feel this pressure to do holiday sales all of the time. You can look at what means most to you, like make sure that it aligns with your values. When you're doing sales throughout the year, just maybe more random sales, be intentional about those. Make it fun, something they can look forward to.
Have fun.
And keep it simple. Above all, just keep it simple. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned every Friday because we release a new episode. And let us know if there's any kind of sales or holiday tips and tricks or anything like that, that you found helpful for yourself. Let us know in the comments. We would love to hear from you, and let us know if there's anything else that you have questions about or would like to hear in the future, because we will definitely make an episode on it for you. And just know that we are over here cheering you on, and we hope that you have the best holiday season ever.
Bye, y'all.